Hey, how's it going, guys? It's your boy Blu-rayDave back with another movie review, and um, this is pretty much unannounced, but I wanted to do something new. Last fall, I did announce that I I do want to review every single MCU movie, but here's my problem. If I'm going to review each and every one of those movies, I need to have at least one shirt from each movie to represent the films, and I was thinking about doing my regular colored shirts, but it just wouldn't feel the same, right? So, I thought I would do movie reviews on one of my all-time favorite franchises, and that is the Star Wars. Yep. So today we're starting the film that really started it all. Is Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace, released in May of 1999. I wasn't even born yet, guys. But in a way, I did grew up with the prequels, even though I wasn't aware of Star Wars. Still, um, seriously, I love this movie, guys, and I'm happy to hear in recent years that it's been getting much more love. Guys, you need to understand and respect George Lucas's creative decisions on making the prequels. Again, because of the Clone Wars, it made the prequels popular today, right? This is another one of those movies where if me and my family get into another franchise, we watch these out of order. So really, Attack of the Clones was my first prequel movie I saw, but this I saw second. But I enjoyed it the first time. Oh my gosh. Seriously, this film is freaking awesome. Seriously, I own the 4K, the DVD, the VHS of this movie. And still, I really wish that at least my dad could have introduced me to this franchise at a younger age, so that way, I could have more of that experience, you know? But it was also during a time where you really couldn't be a Star Wars fan. Why? Was it because of the prequels? Because remember, guys, the internet wasn't as big back then as it is now. And I'm happy that people can form their own opinions about anything, especially to Star Wars. Um, but we don't have anything nice to say about the sequels, right, guys? Screw Ray, screw everybody in that franchise. And they did the original cast dirty, so that's not good. I mean, what can I say about Phantom Menace? I mean, like I said, okay, sure, it's not a perfect film, but it's not even a guilty pleasure movie, guys. If you would have told me back then, if this was a bad movie, I would have said no, and I still say no. And I wouldn't understand the meaning of guilty pleasure. Yes, we all have our guilty pleasure movies, but this is definitely not one of them. I definitely genuinely enjoyed this movie, guys. Especially the behind the scenes. Again, I missed it when DVDs used to come out like this. You would get 2 packs. The bonus discs, guys. I love what's that documentary called? In the beginning, I even had to dig out my shirt for this. If you guys can read it, my dad gave this to me years ago. But man, I love the cast. And yes, I'm still a Jar Jar fan, guys. I do not believe those stupid conspiracy theories about oh, Jar Jar, he's a Dark Lord, he's a Sith Lord, no. I'm sure Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau would wanna still include Jar Jar in future projects. Let's say Jar Jar did make a comeback in The Mandalorian, right? I just loved in it was season 3, right? Yeah, season 3 of Mandalorian where Ahmed Best, yep, the man who played Jar Jar, he made a comeback in The Mandalorian, but as a Jedi, oh my gosh, that's when you know the haters shut the heck up when it came to Ahmed Best, dude, I love that man to bits, and Jar Jar, he is not a racist character, okay? His ears as dreadlocks, are you freaking kidding me, guys? Even in an interview, George said yeah, what the heck is it with these edgy people wanting every single thing that they watch to be edgy. Like, they don't like comic relief characters. Like, guys, come on. Not everything has to be on edge all the time. Okay? You gotta have a balance. It's just like the Force. Like the light side of the Force and the dark side of the Force need to be balanced. So, like, what kind of drugs are you people taking? Because I want out. Still, I feel like, again, I've covered this on a separate video months back. I feel like this was a time when Star Wars, especially in the 2000s, was, I guess, becoming more adult, And unfortunately, we don't get that as much with the Disney stuff. Regardless, I still love what they put out, but like, I miss that. Like, especially watching the Star Wars spoofs on the bonus disc of the complete saga. If you guys have that, you guys know that there's a collection of like spoofs and history and episodes dedicated to like talk about Star Wars, like anything like that's when you knew. That's when you knew like Star Wars was like, I guess you could say, really good. Oh man. Seriously, everybody here, great. Even Liam Neeson. Like, I'm happy to hear that he still enjoys this movie to this day. I do not like Padawan Obi-Wan as much. Like, he needs to have the beard. Come on. And Jake Lloyd is young Anakin. Come on. It's unfortunate. A few years back, he went to jail for like what, crazy driving, and now he's labeled as schizophrenic. I mean, that's tough, guys. Like, he was bullied after this movie came out. Like, guys, this movie and Jingle All the Way are Jake Lloyd's only 2 movies that he's ever appeared in, and you gotta give him crap for this one. Are you serious? I thought he was perfect. Seriously, I am not joking, guys, when I say Jake Lloyd was the perfect 9-year-old Anakin in this movie. Like, oh my gosh. And the fact that George, man, you funny bastard. I love you, man. The fact that he made Queen Amidala 14 and Anakin 9, but they had like these love tensions or whatever. Like, oh my gosh. He's kind of like doing the Romeo and Juliet thing, but the roles are reversed, right? In a way, this movie is quick because, like, all the different scenes are playing out. Like, I love the beginning, how it starts, and, like, I love how in the prequels, the Star Wars theme stays consistent. Unlike the originals, everything, for some reason, they have to be different themes, right? I'm not talking about the character themes. You guys know I'm talking about the Star Wars theme, right? And my dad, I love it when he makes fun of the Viceroy, like how they talk and all that. Like, it's so funny. Oh my gosh, the pod race, guys. Seriously, guys, I really wanted to see this movie in 3D when it came out, February of 2012. I was looking forward to seeing all of these in 3D until like with the Disney buyout and they canceled all the 3D releases. Well, can you imagine, guys, if all of these were released on Blu-ray 3D? I know Blu-ray 3D is dead, but just imagine if we got physical copies of that. And it is true what George said about this movie. Like, this one is pretty much like A New Hope, right? Like, it's poetry. Like, it has to rhyme. Like, you know how Luke blew up the Death Star, Anakin has to blow up the battle droid ship, let's call it. And I love the Naboo fight, like the Gungans versus the battle droids, and oh man, and of course the Duel of the Fates. And if you guys are aware of this, if you guys have Disney Plus, you should know when the Star Wars Gallery for Season 1 of The Mandalorian, it was Episode 2. All the directors, including Dave Filoni, like, he had to explain, like, again, from George's point of view, there we go, because, Dave Filoni was trained under George when they were working on the Clone Wars. The Duel of the Fates right? The Duel of the Fates is literally the fate of Anakin Skywalker. Now, no doubt, the song is awesome. You know, like, oh my gosh. Something that you love to hum to, but just when I heard what Dave said, like, he put in a whole better perspective for me, like, holy crap. Like, it all makes sense. Like, I thought the Duel of the Fates was literally just like Qui-Gon, Darth Maul, and Obi-Wan, but like, no, it's literally the fate of Anakin. Like, who was going to survive this fight? And just like everyone else, I thought Darth Maul was dead after Obi-Wan sliced him, but like, thanks to the Clone Wars, um, with the fans, like, they brought Darth Maul back, and I'm like, Darth Maul's back? How come? And apparently Maul was supposed to be one of the key players of the Clone Wars. I guess George really did thought all of this out before he even made the series. And of course, like, Darth Maul is still important and popular in Star Wars media. He popped up in Solo, a Star Wars story, Rebels. Of course, he came back for the Clone Wars, the final season. It's just bring him back. Like, and, if you guys know your George Lucas trivia, you should know that George originally intended, like, if he was going to make his sequel trilogy, the definitive sequel trilogy, Darth Maul was going to be the main villain of that. And, my gosh, I don't know how they would have played that. Like Luke Skywalker meeting Darth Maul, and then Darth Maul would tell him, like, oh, like, the secrets and all that stuff, like, whatever, like, Rebels had to play it safe with Obi-Wan officially killing off Maul. Like, you knew that this was a personal sword fight with them. Like, it was just quick, clean and easy. Like, it didn't have to be long. It didn't have to, over exaggerate. Like, yeah, I'm all out of words. Like, I mean, yeah, it's true. Like, again, Rebels had to play it safe. It was unfortunate, though, that, Qui-Gon had to die, because, oh my gosh. Like, everyone is on the same boat. Like, we all want a Star Wars What If series. If we could get a miniseries of Tales of the Jedi, then we could definitely get a miniseries of Star Wars What If. Like, still using the Clone Wars animation style, not Marvel. Do what if scenarios, like, what if Qui-Gon actually survived the lightsaber duel and he needed to be the father figure that, like, Anakin needed, right? What if this? What if that? Like, my gosh. And, of course, when it came to the theatrical release of this movie, I did not like Puppet Yoda. It did not work for this film. So thank God for the 2011 Blu-ray release, like, the special edition, if you will, like, made it so much better, like, so Yoda can match up with his other two counterparts. And since the first 6 films were remastered by Disney, I haven't seen any changes from Disney of this movie in particular, but if they have done some stuff, just let me know. Hopefully people have made some videos, like, I remember it was different versions of these, right? Like, tell me, guys, when you were in the theaters, like, whoever saw this movie in 99, with the DVD going on the Blu-ray, like, I feel like this is kind of an extended cut, but was this, like, the definitive cut you saw in the theater, or did you see, like a different cut of this movie on VHS? Because in even, like, some scenes, like, think out with the DVD, like, there were, like, close-up shots on one character, but on the DVD, like, they extended the scenes, like, they, like, to show more characters, right? Um, and fun fact, the original title for this movie, it wasn't going to be called The Phantom Menace. It was going to be called The Beginning. I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, this literally is the beginning. Like, honestly, guys, if George, like, if you were to start off the prequel trilogy, guys, how can you start with the Clone Wars, huh? Like, you really gotta show the backstory. I'm pretty sure George did not want to overcomplicate it. Like, yeah, good on him. And I'm happy that he had creative control in the prequels. And he's independent. And, you know, there was this video, hopefully you guys saw this. He was explaining, like, obviously how bad Hollywood is. And, like, he funded all of his movies. And he took, like, 100% of the profits because he's paying it for everything. And Hollywood's just like, wait, why take 100%? Because you're being, like, greedy, selfish pigs. Mm-hmm. Again, why do you think there's so many independent film studios coming out now? Because they don't want corporate studios getting their hands onto the stuff that people are making, and I'm looking forward to them. Like, I never. Again, if you were to tell me years ago, like the word independent or indie, like I never would have understood. I just thought George Lucas was like everybody else, but like in recent years, as I start to like dig deep more, I start to understand, like, yeah, I could see why he doesn't want Hollywood to, like, you know, touch his baby, you know. Star Wars was his baby, you know. Of course, like in his own words, he sold it to the white slaves. Like, Disney, you done goofed. You lied to George. You told him that you were going to take his ideas, like his definitive sequel trilogy, but you made it into your own version. Like, I get it. We live in a generation where kids want new things, but the sequels, they're not really new. They're recycled. They're a recycled version of the original trilogy, right? Like, the sequels are pretty much like a high school film, like fan film projects. Like, they look under budget. Is that even a thing? Like those films are so bad. They're so bad. They're never going to be appreciated in 20 years' time. Because I'm happy that Dave and John are ignoring the sequels. Again, because of the Clone Wars, that was the building foundation. Like, everything started to come together with both the prequels and the originals. There would never be a show for the sequels that will try to be the building foundations. What I want for the originals, guys. Yes, the originals are still my least favorite for now, but I want Dave and John to make a Clone Wars style, like animated style. Like, I was hoping Rebels would like redeem the originals for me, but that didn't make the cut. So again, with the original cast, or at least like, obviously Carrie Fisher's gone, but I mean like the original trio, right? Make an animated series that goes like between the original movies. Like, literally 4 and 5, they literally take 3 years apart. Like, there's even comics to back this up, but like, we need this in a film form. And if they can still pick that up with like between 5 and 6, because, you know, 5 and 6 are literally like a year apart. So if they could do that, like, that would really bring an interest to me, like, for the originals, because literally to me the prequels and the Clone Wars, they are like peak Star Wars content, right? That's just my personal opinion, guys. Back to the soundtrack of this movie, like John Williams, oh my gosh, he knew exactly what he was doing with the soundtrack. Like, oh my gosh, besides Duel of the Fates, like, he brought such an enriching, powerful, enthusiastic soundtrack. Like, you guys know I own all the soundtracks from the prequels. Man. again, it's just something about this film that really stands out to me, you know? Of course, Revenge of the Sith will always be my all-time favorite Star Wars movie in general, but still, like, I'll always appreciate the prequels. Again, this was a time when I didn't really like the prequels that much because again I was an original trilogy kid, but again thanks to the Clone Wars and the hate that people are giving to the sequels, like that's good. Mm-hmm. Disney, that ought to teach you a lesson. Kathleen Kennedy. Mm-hmm. Seriously, I would literally get these two different copies from my local library all the time. Like I didn't care what version I was getting, just as long as I love this movie, I want to watch it. Yeah, I just don't like going into movies like watching them out of order. Like if I'm gonna watch a movie franchise, it needs to be in order. Like I'm not gonna watch Scary Movies 3 and 4 first. Like I need to watch like the first two, for example, right? Like again, I don't care. Like this goes for any franchise. I don't care how good, bad, or even dumb slash stupid the movies are, or even TV shows involved. Just as long as I watch it, and then after I watch it, like okay, at least I know like I watched this. I don't need to watch it anymore. Seriously, when I did my Star Wars marathon with a friend last summer, like we literally started with episode 1 because it makes sense, right? Like even George Lucas pointed out like once you watch all the films in the correct order, like it makes sense. Like, yep. Of course, that wasn't my first time, attempting this. I've tried so many times growing up. So yeah, Jake Lloyd, Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson, Sam Jackson, Frank Oz, again, everybody. Not just the cast, but, the crew and all that. Like, George, again, he knew what he was doing, guys. He had this backstory in his head from the very beginning, since, like, the early 70s. If you watch the old 1995 VHS interviews, like, man, that's a commitment. Like, of course, when it comes to like your stories, you are gonna make tweaks. Like things aren't always gonna remain the same, but at least you have an idea what the story is gonna be like, right? Yeah. And like I said, this was a time when Roman numerals with Star Wars was pretty big. Like because of Star Wars, they made Fox big. Like anytime you think of Fox, you think of Star Wars because every time you watch the first 6 films, like oh my gosh, it's like you cannot get rid of the Fox theme. Like it has to stay. Again, if they would have just done that with the new films too, of course with like different studios, but like just for nostalgia's sake, just for nostalgia's sake. So yeah, I was 10 years old when I finally saw this movie. I gotta say, it was kind of a weird time for me too, because this is when I was still getting into Star Wars. Like, oh my gosh, I had to get caught up with everything, and then there was this stupid documentary like The People versus George Lucas. Like that was just coming out. I thought that come out like years before, but like, of course I'm not gonna watch it because, sure, I'm not gonna let the toxic haters now to get to me, but like change my opinions. But it's just like, oh, just that kind of stuff just makes you angry. It really pisses you off. And I'm sure most Star Wars fans don't even give a crap about like, I guess like the special editions of the prequels because they wouldn't even know, but I would know because I've watched and studied the film so many times. Like, wait until I get to Attack of the Clones, guys, because oh man, there's an end like at the ending of the movie where they switch some scenes around that I don't like. So just stay tuned for that. I don't know how I'm gonna make these episodes like, I don't know if it's gonna be an everyday thing, like a video once a day thing. I don't know. Um, but we'll see how this goes. I don't care what the views and likes are with these videos, just as long as I talk about my personal experiences with these movies. Like seriously, I've always wanted to make like specific movie reviews about my favorite franchises, and um, I remember back in the day when James used to be good and didn't stab us in the back. He made some movie reviews. Like he didn't make them separately. Like for example, Star Wars when the sequels were still going on. I think this was before when 9 came out. He literally make a ranking like what are his favorite movies. And of course with the MCU, you guys know that he didn't talk about it fully. Like he stopped at Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Yeah, that's right. I remember because that's when he got the Steelbook, and after Phase 3, that's when he started talking about the last 3 films. They're like Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Like, again, I want to make these separately just so that you guys can enjoy like the different like stories of this, like, and what I've experienced with the movies here. Again, this is just only going to be the movies, guys. I don't know how too far in depth I'll go with TV shows. Like, I don't know. We'll cross the bridge when we get to it. But like, um, I know that there's still this fan group out there called the Phantom Edit, and I'm never gonna watch that cut. Um, but like I said, I'm just happy to hear that there's less toxic people now, because the internet is bigger, and what an impact the Clone Wars has left on the prequels. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions about Phantom Menace. What did you think of this movie? Um, but please be nice in the comments, okay? And of course, watching some of the Count Dooku episodes and Tales of the Jedi, guys, like I'm happy that I got more better perspective. Like, yeah, Count Dooku was around during the Phantom Menace time era, which I kind of assumed that he was before the show came out. And Liam Neeson got to voice Qui-Gon in that show. Like, well, of course he voiced him in the Clone Wars since the beginning, like as a Force ghost. Um, and of course, we don't know what happened to Yaddle, Yoda species. Um, I feel like before you watch Phantom Menace, guys, this is just optional. I feel like I could start doing this. I don't know. It really all depends. I feel like you guys could start with the first Count Dooku episode where he's really young and you have young Qui Gon. Like, oh my gosh, like, and in a way, I feel like Dave could really continue the Clone Wars, but here's a twist. Over the years, there has been books between episodes 1 and 2. Obi-Wan training Anakin. I feel like that could be done in the Clone Wars animation style. Like show like Anakin's 10 years of becoming a Jedi. And if you could either have like Matt Lantner or Hayden Christensen voice Anakin, like even show Anakin as a Padawan in the Clone Wars animation style. Like, of course, we've already seen that in the 2003 show, but like I feel like we could see that in the Clone Wars style. Yeah. Again, we'll have to wait and see. Again, especially what's going on at Disney right now. I'm not gonna get my hopes up. We just got to get these at least 2 out of 3 good Star Wars movies out of the way. And I don't think the Ahsoka series is going to be the last Lucasfilm project. Like, I mean, hey, as long as you continue to keep making good stories, like obviously I'll keep watching them because I'm a fan. I love everything. Yeah. All right, I guess that's pretty much what I have to say for the Phantom Menace. Yeah, I really wish I could have experienced that in the theater, back in 2012 when this came out in 3D. Um, Again, if would have just been me and my dad, like both my dad and I, we loved the prequels so much. Like, after we watched Kenobi, like he told me he got those like prequel feelings. Like, yeah, the prequels are that good. They're that important. All right. Again, that's all I have to say. So again, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Please turn the post notification bell and share my content if you haven't already. And don't worry, the Attack of the Clones review will come out very soon. It shouldn't take too long, but just let me know in the comments what you think of this. Like, should I do this like one review a day, or just kind of like span them out so you guys can like have some time to like watch these videos? Because I don't know how long these ones are gonna be. This one's over half hour long, but kind of expected these to be long. But hey, whatever, right? And hopefully you guys enjoyed my Star Wars VHS little overview. Like, hopefully that brought back the nostalgia factor for you guys too. Because again, I'm a sucker for that stuff. Like, oh my gosh, if I could get everything on VHS, I would. Okay, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, bye, and may the Lord and may the Force be with you guys. Always love you guys. Peace out, guys. And remember, the Force will be with you always. All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye.